We'd like to thank Montecito Bank and Trust for their generous support in making Scam Squad possible. I'm Patty Teal.
And I'm Deputy District Attorney Vicki Johnson. Scam Squad is up next.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Sound off.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scam Squad.
I'm Patty Teal, and as always, back with Deputy District Attorney Vicki Johnson to warn us about the latest scams. And we have our wonderful partners from Montecito Bank and Trust here today, who I'll let Vicki introduce.
Okay, thank you, Patty. And today we have Sean Dyer, Senior Fraud Specialist from Montecito Bank and Trust. And she always has some good information for us, some things that our listeners really need to know about. So welcome, Sean. So nice to have you back with us. And what have you got for us today?
Hi, and thank you for having me back on Scam Squad. It's always good to get, those scary scams out there to let everybody be aware. So Today I was just going to talk about a couple that we've talked about before that are resurfacing again. One we're referring to as the P2P, which stands for person to person, P2P transfer scam. That is when you are either willingly participating, well, unknowingly, but participating in a scam where you are conducting these transfers yourself, or where you are a victim where a scammer has convinced you that they are somebody else and you allow them access to your online banking so that they can perform these transfers. And the P2P is typically like Zelle or Venmo or those kinds of things and it's made to be used by people rather than businesses. That's the point. It's that, oh, you went and shared lunch. Oh, okay, let me Zelle money to you or let me Venmo the money to you. But scammers are really good at convincing you that that's their only way that they can receive payment for whatever it may be. And we have seen it for puppies, like the puppy scam. They want you to send money fast because once that money goes, it's gone. And all you need, if you have Zelle, for example, all you need is their cell phone number or an email. And that money goes with that. If that fraudster, which usually they are already set up to receive it, that's it. And it's gone. And you can't get it back.
So let me ask you a question, if I could, Sean, just in terms of how this actually transpires. So I used to play tennis with a friend and we would take lessons occasionally, and I would always race to pay the instructor with my checkbook, and she would get on her cell phone and pay by one of these, I guess, P2P transfers and to the guy that was giving us lessons. So what did they have to do to set that up? I never quite understood the process. What did the instructor have to do? What did she have to do so that transfer could be made? And by the way, she almost always beat me in the race to pay him first.
Well, and I bet you the instructor probably preferred her method of payment because it was immediate.
Yes, I think it went right into his account. Is that right?
Yes.
He didn't have to go to the bank and deposit a check. Okay.
Exactly.
So what information did they both need to share in order for that to happen?
Well, that's the scary part. So both sides have to have already established, well, in most cases, that's what I should say. If you are willingly the one going in and sending it, that means you've already established a Zelle. I'm going to use Zelle as the example. So for us at our bank, Zelle is through, you have to access your online banking and then click on the Zelle button. Other institutions might have it set up a different way. But by establishing your account with Zelle, it means it's already, you've already entered your bank's information, your account information, and you have set up your profile within there. And you have decided what they're calling is a token. What token will be used to send money back and forth? And that's either a cell phone number or an email address. You can also do your whole checking account routing number and account number. However, that means if you are sending money back and forth, you're providing that other person with your checking account routing number and account number. So that's the least favorite. And that one is not quite immediate. So if you're transferring money, you literally just say, hey, here's my cell phone number. So for example, let's say I'm going to send you $20, Vicki. So I'm going to go, and you've already got a Zelle account set up, and you've told me it's my cell phone number. That's my token. So I go into Zelle and I put in your cell phone number, $20, and I click on send. You will receive a text message on your phone that says, hey, Sean Dyer's trying to send you $20 via Zelle. Would you like to accept? And you hit yes. And then it's linked because you set your phone number up as your token. It knows to go to that number, which is linked to your account, and the money's there.
Okay.
Just like that.
Yeah. So as the sender, you would have to get on your cell phone, go to your
or computer. You could be on your computer in your online banking.
You go to your online banking, and when you're in your online banking, access Zelle, which I'm assuming is an app. And then what do you do? Do you just, and then in Zelle, do you say?
Zelle, within Zelle, it can say, do you want to send money or receive money?
Okay.
Because you can send a request saying, hey, you owe me.
Okay.
But that person also on the other end, then they'll get that message. But again, you have to have their cell phone or their email, whatever they've set up as their token.
So once you're in Zelle, Zelle will then prompt you. Do you want to send money? Yes. How much do you want to send? $20. Who do you want to send it to? And then what does she provide? Does she provide the tennis instructor's email number?
She probably had his cell phone number.
Okay. So she provides the tennis instructor's cell phone number. She puts that in.
And then it takes, like 30 seconds, and it's verifying that that cell phone number is linked to a valid Zelle account. Whether it's a fraudulent one or not, obviously, we don't know. But if it's a valid one, then it can accept it, and it should notify the instructor that, somebody's trying to send him money.
So they both have to have a Zelle account.
Correct.
On both sides.
You have to have a Zelle account on both ends. And of course, the fraudsters all have many of them so that they can, one victim, they're going to give this cell phone number to. The next victim, they're going to give another cell phone number to. And the idea is they just go through and blast through as many, like many of our fraud scams. They are going through them quickly to as many people as they can, as quickly as they can, and then they're gone.
And so basically they contact a person maybe with a product that's going to be sold, and they say, pay me through Zelle. And the person—
Or Craigslist scam. It's like, it's not, the gift cards have not gone away by any means, but this is another means of getting funds. If people are finally catching on that, no good comes from a gift card, except if you're actually going to hand it to the person that you're giving a gift to, this P2P transfer is the next best thing. And the victim doesn't have to go into the bank. It's not like a wire where they have to go inside a bank or go to Western Union, anything like that. They're doing it on their phone or right on their tablet or on their computer.
So now we have to be suspicious if somebody that we don't know is asking us to pay by P2P.
You should never be using P2P if you don't personally know that person.
Okay.
Because it can absolutely be a scam.
All right. Yeah. Now,
Sean, I noticed, excuse me, but I sent some money to someone earlier in the month, and it was a little larger amount, and they did hold up on it, and the bank actually called me to make sure that I knew the person, and so I thought that was great. So I guess banks are feeling they have to do that, but it was good that because I'd never sent to that particular person before.
And that may have been exactly why, that if you hadn't sent it to that recipient and it was a larger amount, they might have set a flag to say, hey, we want to check with our client before it leaves our bank.
Right. So I was pretty impressed.
That's good.
Yeah, that is impressive. So in the scenario that we just talked about, where you're doing a P2P transfer using Zelle, by you doing that, you're not giving them any way to access your banking information, are you? I mean, they can't then get in and go even further and take money out.
Correct.
Okay,
If, and that's the key part, if you're the one who initiated it on
Yeah.
your phone and sent it, then
Yeah.
that's the worst of it. You're just out that money because you did it.
okay,
But you did not disclose, hopefully you didn't need to disclose your bank, your routing number, any of that, because you just went in and went to Zelle and said, I'm sending money to this phone number.
okay. All right,
So there shouldn't be any identity theft related to that, but you're
related to that kind of transfer.
to
Yeah.
that kind of a transfer.
All right. Now, does PayPal work the same way?
I think it's similar, but I hate to say I don't use PayPal.
You know, I have used PayPal quite a bit too, and there is a little bit of a difference. So it goes to your PayPal account and it sits there until you press a button transferring it into your bank. So whereas with Zelle, you're all set up, it goes straight to your bank. Even though PayPal has your banking information, it just sits in the PayPal account until you go in and press a button to put it in the bank of your choice.
Okay,
But it is similar. I think PayPal came along first, is how it seems to me, and then these others streamlined it even more.
So it sounds like the PayPal is more like they have an escrow holding account for
That's how it
as you
seems.
sign up,
Mhm.
and that's the go-between, and that's the holdup too, because I
Yes.
think that's probably not same day. It may be next day or
No,
like
you can
Zelle,
get it,
Zelle
you
is
can
like
get it
within 5
within,
minutes.
yeah, you can get, once you go in there and accept it into your bank, you can get it within like 5 minutes. Well, it depends. If you put it, you know, if you do it through a routing number or if you put it on a card, they have variations. If you do it like the immediate, there is a small fee they take out, a very small percentage. Whereas with Zelle and Venmo, I don't think they take any money out.
No,
so Sean, have your customers shared with you the kinds of tricks that these scammers are using to get
well,
them to
like one was
send?
the puppy scam. One gal was trying to buy a horse. It's more frequent where it is our customer is searching for something
Mhm,
and they get caught up rather than being solicited for
right,
something.
okay. And so it could be a used car, or like you say, a puppy or a product that they're
Yes.
searching for and they're wanting to buy a particular product. And unfortunately, online, the scammers are trolling and just waiting for that
Yes.
opportunity. And they pretend like they have it and, oh, let's do the transfer this way. I'm sure they even have pictures of what
Oh,
they're
yeah. Oh,
purportedly
yeah.
sending. Yeah,
Yeah. We're trying to help and educate the clients, but it's, you know, how the fraudsters are, they're always one step ahead. So it's just, you know, keeping yourself informed of these things. And it's kind of like leading into my next topic of the bank phone number being spoofed. Don't ever take anything for its face value. You have to do your due diligence. If you think it's that good, if it's too good to be true, it is.
I imagine the cryptocurrency transferring too, because you copy a link and you copy it into their link and boom, it's gone. And you probably can't get that back either. So it's along the same line as these.
Exactly.
tell us about the spoofed bank phone calls. What are you seeing there?
They are spoofing the bank's phone number, and other local banks have had it happen as well. Everybody has caller ID, so you
Sure.
can see your bank's name is coming up. Oh, I better take that call. It's the bank. Again,
Right.
that sense of urgency. Oh, something's wrong. That's always our first thought, that we better, answer this call. Well, don't answer the call. I hate to say it. Don't answer the call. You call the bank directly and ask them, did you just call me for something? And our service center will have a log of all ingoing, outgoing calls. But what happens though is customers get a spoofed bank call, and that's where we've had one of the P2P transfer scams. Is they thought it was the bank calling them, telling them that there was something on the account that they needed to investigate. Spoofing a bank's phone number, very common. Just don't answer it or let it go to voicemail, because if it's a scammer, they won't usually leave a message. They want to get you live and get that sense of urgency going.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a message, you knew it wasn't the bank, because if it were the bank, we would leave you a message and our direct line to call back. So
So what they're doing is really trying to get you to give information. This is your bank calling. There's a problem with your account. They may say something about, we want to make sure we're talking to the right person. And they may
this
even
last
have,
four of your social security number.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they may even have some banking information about you. I mean, if you've
Yes.
thrown away, for example, bank records without shredding,
Yes.
dumpster divers know exactly where to go when they find bank records. They know how to find a fraudster who'd love to get that information. Next thing
Exactly.
you know, you're getting a phone call and they have maybe a little piece of your banking records. Oh, we're just verifying that this is account number. These are the last four numbers. And is that correct? Well, can you give us further verification? And before you know it, they've mined you for whatever information they can get to finagle themselves further into your banking system. I would imagine that's what they're.
That is absolutely correct. And there have been so many data breaches are just commonplace now. So
Really?
all of us have had some pieces of data, personal data breached from some company, credit card, restaurant, it's our stuff is out there. So
Is that right?
don't think for a minute that all of your personal identifiable information is safe and secure, because it isn't. So we should always be on guard.
Well, remember when
Unfortunately.
when they had that big breach of one of the credit reporting agencies?
Yes.
And
Experian.
everybody's Experian, thank you, and everybody's information is
Well, Vicki,
out
we
there.
could repeat your coworker's information from last week. Dayton Aldrich told us that you could go to a site, and I was thinking I should do it, but haven't done it yet. It's called haveibeenpwned.com, PWNED.com, and you can put in your email address, or you can put in the password that you use regularly, and it comes up and it tells you all the hacks and data breaches that you've been exposed to.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that, and tell me
Yeah,
that
and he
again.
said it's a real site and
Have
it's
I been-
legitimate. Have I been pwned? And then he made the comment, not honed, it's PWNED.com. And he called it a very safe and useful tool.
PWNED.com, PWNED.com. That would be a good
Yes.
thing for all of us to do.
Yeah. I've
Have
not
I
heard of
been-
that one, so I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Wow,
I'm
so we've
scared.
got the P2P transfer scam, we've got the spoofed bank phone number scam. Anything else we need to be careful about, or?
That's all I can handle today.
It just seems it goes on, doesn't it? Oh my
You don't even
goodness.
have to leave your house to get these scams to happen.
That's
That's the
right.
unfortunate thing.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this information with us. And
Thank you.
Patty, thank you for remembering that site from last week.
Absolutely.
Do you want to hear a sort of humorous story, but strange? Let me just put it this way, a strange story that has a good ending.
Well,
Sure.
as long as it has a good ending, we'll listen.
Okay, so this is from the Department of Justice. Once again, this happened in Texas. A San Antonio man was sentenced to 15 months in prison for perpetrating a hoax related to COVID-19. Here was the hoax. Apparently, this guy posted, last name Perez, posted 2 threatening messages on Facebook where he claimed that he paid somebody who had COVID to lick items at a grocery store in San Antonio to scare people away from visiting that store. So clearly this guy had a bad experience at the store, and he was going to get even with that store. And so he posted on Facebook that somebody with COVID had licked items at the store. Well, thankfully, the threat was false. He didn't actually do it. He was just trying to ruin their business. And they were able to, they were able to find him and hold him accountable. And this is the quote from the FBI agent who was in charge of this case. "Those who would threaten to use COVID-19 as a weapon against others will be held accountable for their actions, even if the threat was a hoax, because his actions were knowingly designed to spread fear and panic. So
Wow.
he was sentenced to 15 months in prison for doing that. So anyway, it's a strange story, but with a good ending, and it just shows the lengths that people will go to exact their
vengeful,
revenge,
yes.
I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Man.
Strange
So,
story, but thanks for sharing, Vicki.
I know. Well, it gave us a little bit of a laugh, although we're
It
also
did.
going, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible."
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Well,
Thank you, Sean. You always have such great information, and thank everybody at your bank for all the good they do to warn the community about scams.
Well, thank you for having me again. I look forward to seeing you next time.
Okay, bye
Okay.
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.